Welcome to Persons of Interest, giving you in-depth, exclusive one-on-one interviews from the studio to your home. Only on blackdonnellyradio.com.
Good evening and welcome to the show. Tonight's person of interest, a young, aspiring hip-hop artist has just released his first cut demo, eager and excited to be kicking off in the wonderful world of hip-hop. It is with great honor and pleasure I bring to you William Crane, a.k.a. YammaKing. William, welcome to the show.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you bet, man. So, before we get ahead of ourselves here, we're going to go way back. Where's home? Where were you born, man?
I was born in Rexdale. Actually, well, I guess you could say Etobicoke General, but like I grew up in Rexdale, you know what I mean?
Right on. I believe you spent a little bit of time down the south as well, no?
Yeah, so around grade 6, my mom married an American soldier, and we all moved to El Paso, Texas. I only stayed for about a year, and then I moved back, but my brother, my sister, and my mom stayed down there.
Nice, man. So tell me, like, I've never been to Texas in my life. What was that like through your eyes for the listener? What was Texas's jam like?
Not to say anything bad about it, but I mean, like, I didn't have the greatest of experience down there.
Okay.
Right? Because maybe it's just being Canadian. They kind of throw a little bit of judgment your way. Maybe that's what it is. But just, like, don't get me wrong. There was good times and there was bad times. But for me, like, Texas is very much a rough place, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to be built for it.
Really? Yeah, and I guess being a transplant coming from up north, was that little bit of a stigma? You kind of stick out, you're not one of them. I hear you, brother.
Exactly, right? And there was, like, don't get me wrong, I had good friends, right? But I also had, like, I got in a couple fights, right? And the fights came because I was Canadian, you know what I mean? Because they thought, like, I thought that I was better than them, blah, blah, blah. But, like, everything worked out in the end. But, like, it got to a point where I was just too stressed out about it, so I had to come home.
Time to reel her in and head back up north, eh, buddy?
Right, buddy. That's right.
Wicked. Now, okay, so let's talk about, so you've just entered into the wonderful world of hip-hop. Let's talk about inspirations. How did you get to the wonderful world of hip-hop? What brought you here? How did this all become about?
Well, it actually started in Texas. So when I was in Texas, I was going to a school called North Star, right? And it was a predominantly black school, right? So, like, I only hung out basically with black people, right? And there was a big hip hop scene, like, where my mom was living. So it was like I was kind of thrown right into that, right?
Right.
And they always used to do this thing called, like, freestyling, and, like, where they would battle each other, blah blah blah. And I never thought anything of it. So one day, one of my buddies named Robbie told me, hey, why don't you try it? Like, just try and put words together, right? So I tried it, didn't come out good at all, like, was terrible, absolutely terrible. But I worked on it, got a little better, right? And then I came home. And when I came home, nothing else came of it, right? Like, no one else here was doing that. I wasn't hanging out with people who were rapping, so it was kind of like, it kind of died right then and there. Let's go, say, like 5, 6 years, 7 years later, I meet a guy, I'm good buddies with a guy named Eric Tello. He passed away a couple years ago, rest in peace. But he was kind of, like, into the big freestyling and all that stuff. And he kind of pushed me back into it. And he taught me stuff. He, like, kind of taught me, like, so this is how I look at freestyling because of him. Freestyling is like playing chess. You always have to kind of stay 3 steps ahead, right? So, like, when I freestyle, I always want to stay 3 steps ahead of what I'm going to say. So that way I don't fumble or mix up my words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always found that kind of, that style of art form. I'd be fucking nerve-wracked, man, because you always got to be on the spot. You're making rhymes up. It's very interesting stuff, man.
That's when it first started. Don't get me wrong. That the nerves were like, I was really shaky. Like, I wasn't that good, but it was kind of like my buddies who I was surrounding myself with at the time that were kind of like, they always used to do that, right? So it was like I kind of had no choice. They kind of, like, almost forced me to do it, and that got me really, like, to a better point now where, like, I'm pretty good at it, you know what I mean? Like, I think I kind of have a knack for it.
Very sweet, man. Okay, now that's going to bring us to our first track that we're going to feature tonight for this evening from YammaKing. It's called Just the Beginning. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Honestly, so the first time I ever went into the studio, I was with Sean, who's my producer and also the owner of Enya Studio. he has a buddy named Nick. He's also a producer, and he's also one of the guys that I get a lot of my instrumentals off of. He showed me this beat, and I have a lot of writtens in my phone, right? Like stuff I've written down, like listening to other beats, you know what I mean? And I had a concept for that beat where I was like, I'd already had it written to it. The concept was more or less like trying to get through like the hardships of life, you know what I mean? And like get to a point where like you can make your dreams a reality. Like don't think like just because you're going through a hard time you can't get through it. Like you could come out stronger kind of thing, right? So that was kind of like the focus behind that song. And it was literally just chance that he had that beat, and the beat worked out perfect to what I had written before. So it all just kind of worked out, and it all mixed together perfectly.
Cool. So you're basically channeling negative energy into positive energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to get away from all the negative stuff and make everything more positive. You know what I mean?
Very sweet. Okay, well, here he is, making his radio debut, YammaKing with Just the Beginning on Black Donley Radio.
Yamma. Yeah. I know what you be thinking. The pressure's getting heavy. You feeling like you sinking, knowing you ain't ready. No diamonds on the pinky, so the money ain't steady. But you still standing ready, and you still feeling deadly. People got you back, but you know they out hating. These people try to talk, but you acting so evasive. Cause the time is all wrong, and you know you can't face it. And you walking through your mind, but you feeling like you pacing. So it's time to face your fears and disappear. Either die as a nobody or stand and cheer and get exposure and show people that you right here. And scream out to the people that it's your year. And that's the day you gon' celebrate with your peers, popping bottles with friends, maybe even shedding tears. Maybe that's exactly what you need to hear, so that you don't run and overcome. Cause see where I'm from, we just steadily losing. It's either sell these bags or just end up shooting. Cause yeah, there's really no choosing, and best believe that I'm cruising. I'm trying to get away from the hey, you see I ain't losing. My team, we steady winning, you see we steady sinning. Cause we cheesing for cheaply, yeah, we steady grinning. And I ain't quitting, I'm steady going in right like I got it. And understand to be the kid who just keeps it 100 poppin' like yeah. You know what it is, man. It's YammaKing. I'm back, motherfuckers. How y'all like me now? You see, I started with nothing. I'm trying to get something. You see, I'm trying to get money so I can be the one stunting. You see, I'm never fronting. I'm trying to get this paper. I'm talking courtside seats while I'm watching the Lakers and they playing the Heat or they playing the Pacers. And that's word to me, cause I'm a chaser of dreams. I gotta bust out the trap and break through the seams. You can't see what I'm doing because it's so clean. Cause I'm the kid from the city, you know I'm back on my grizzy. You know it's not really a job if you went through one that's busy. You know it's me who be spitting. You know the shit ain't written. You know it's all out for the top, the way that I'm always killing. And as I bust to the ceiling, I'm trying to reach for these millions. But really I'ma chill out cause I'm catching these feelings. So I'ma sit back and see that I'm chilling. Y'all already know it's 100, the way it's me who gon' kill it. It's YammaKing to the death of me. Yeah. Alright, cut it.
You're listening to Persons of Interest on BlackDonnellyRadio.com.
And we are back on Person of Interest tonight with our featured special guest, William Crane, a.k.a. YammaKing, starting to get into the wonderful world of hip-hop. William, welcome back, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me again.
Cool, man. Now, we were just talking about how you were getting into the wonderful world of hip-hop and your influences and stuff like that. Tell me, YammaKing, where does the name come from?
Now, this is a little R-rated, but I'm going to try and keep it as PG as possible. I enjoy going down on women.
Okay.
One day I had a buddy of mine, Jamil, call me that, like just called me Yama, and it was like, all right, but like, and then I put the king on it because it was like, well, I don't know anybody else like me who like would say something like that. I mean, so why not?
I guess we all got a little bit of YammaKing in us then, eh?
Right, that's right.
Right on. Now, okay, so I know you're just starting out. Have you had the chance to throw down live yet in any jams? Like, what's that process like before you hit it? You get nervous?
Well, since I had the studio and like since I've been doing work in the studio, I haven't really done anything like that. Besides, maybe at a few parties here and there. Like, I'll rap a few like bars here and there, like if there's a beat on. But other than that, I haven't really done much in that sense. I'm hoping to, and I'm like, I really want to in the near future.
Cool,
but
man.
I'm sure
we got to get you out there. And I mean, fucking with this COVID's just started all this year, they're just kicking off. Hopefully next year there'll be some jams going. We can hear you out there doing some of your freestyling, man.
I'm hoping so. Like, the COVID doesn't help. The COVID doesn't help the whole process. But at the same time, the process is slow anyway. So now you just got to be patient. You know what I mean? And let everything just to fall into place.
That's right, brother. Practice makes perfect. You know what, man? I tell you, I was in a band myself, and we jammed and we wrote for like, fuck, man, I don't know, for at least 6 months before we even played in front of anybody. I was terrified at first. Trust me.
Well, it does your nerves in, right? Because it's something you're not used to. But like that's something I try and pride myself on. Is I always want to try new things. I've always been stuck in a routine where I've always done the same thing. Like a perfect example. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I always order chicken fingers and fries.
Right. I'm
trying to get away from that. You know what I mean? Where I try different things. I try things I'm not used to. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's just as simple as that.
You got to get off them nuggets.
Exactly, right? Anything different, right? But that's where this whole, that's where the rap also comes from too, right? Because I'm trying to put myself in a place where I'm getting myself out of my comfort zone and trying to master another field that I'm not very good in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Now, what about, so let's talk about the writing process for YammaKing. Where do you go to get all this on the go? Do you have the music first in your head? Do you write the rhymes out? What's your process like for writing so far?
So, basically the way it's been working so far, which I probably wouldn't change anyway because it's working out perfect. But I go into the studio. I usually have 3-hour sessions, and we sit down. And there's usually the beat already pre-made, or I just have some writtens sitting in a note on my phone somewhere. You know what I mean? Stuff that I've had from before, or some stuff that I've written the day before, just anything, right? And then we kind of match it to the beat. Or I get a beat brand new and I just sit there and I write. But my thing is I usually try and get a song done every session. And so far that's what I've done. So I kind of like that, right? Like, I don't want to, why fix something if it's not broken, right?
Yeah, sure. If the process is working, good for you, man. Now this next track, I'm well aware this is very near and dear to you. Share it with the listener. Victoria, what's this one all about?
So, a couple years ago, my sister, she passed away. Well, to put it bluntly, she was murdered. She was murdered in Mexico. There's no real story to it besides that. Yeah, it was really hard. It was a shock. It came out of nowhere. It was definitely the hardest period of my life. And honestly, to put it like this, if it wasn't for that song would never. First of all, the song would never exist. But also, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would be as focused on doing the music. You know what I mean? Like, what happened kind of motivates me to do all this, because I want to make her proud. You know what I mean? Like,
that's such a beautiful thing. So basically, one of the most tragic experiences you've ever had in your life, and probably ever will have, you've decided to channel it, turn it into a positive, and make your lost sister proud of you. I love that, man. Good for you, brother.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Okay, so and thank you very much for sharing that as well. That's a very big story, and we're all happy that you put it together. This one is all about his sister Victoria. YammaKing, owning it. Black Donnelly Radio.
It's Yamma. Yeah. If I could turn back time, yeah, you know I would. Just to hold you in my arms, damn, I wish I could. We was always fighting like brothers and sisters should, but it was all love in the end, it's how my family stood. Now the story does start when it's time to move. I was filled with fear, developed an attitude, cause 1 year in Texas was all it took for me to go down the wrong path, leave my family shook. Tough decisions follow, but my mama knew she had to send my ass back home for a day of gloom. So now I'm back home, starting brand new life, trying to repair the damages that I made in strife. Got my dad back and became best friends. That motherfucker got me to the very end. Got all 4 grandparents, so I feel real blessed. Made a promise to them all that I do my best. Now everything's on track except for one side. The family aspect fell way too far and wide. Hadn't seen my mom, bro, or sis for some time. So what I decided to do was pick up my line. Started building each other up and feeling fine. Knew if there was a mountain, together we climb. Once we hit the top, we sit down, sip wine. Sitting there thinking this was just a matter of time. Yeah.
Life can be a true thief sometimes, robbing me with all its violent crimes. To hold
see my whole family right in front of my eyes. I can't lie, it's really been quite some time, but now we all together, yeah, and we just feeling fine. Me and my bro, we did everything together, and all my sister wanted was a bit of attention. Never got along, but the love was there. I never realized all the love that she had to share. Couple months passed, and it was time to go back. Brother wanted to stay, it was all in that. They took off for Texas, but it wasn't that bad. The unit we made together just made me glad. Every couple of days, we just FaceTime and shit. It was helping me cope with the distance a bit. Regularly smiling at my mom, bro, assist. Thinking I'm finally a big bro up in this bitch, yeah.
Life can be a true thief sometimes, robbing me with all its violent crimes. Too harsh, I wanna see the light. In spite of that, I'll always choose to fight for you. Fight for me. Fight for all the possibilities.
Everything was great and we was growing steady. Wanna see my fam again, man, I'm oh so ready. But then the day came with that horror news. I sat there thinking, shit, this can't be true. It was that one day that I'll never forget. My sister went missing, shit, had me feeling stressed. 2 days passed and my thoughts got much worse. I mean, she usually took off on my mama's nerves, but this ain't like her. This shit seemed real off. Then came the headline that my girlfriend saw a white girl had been killed, but the text was in Spanish. But once I seen the pics, all of my happiness vanished. Tattoos my sister had, yeah, they all a match. But I kept my hopes up until I knew some facts. It's now Friday morning and I'm working away. I got a call from my girl at a weird time of day. Picked up my phone, but I wish I never did. Everything is fucking true, my baby sister was dead. I screamed out real loud and I turned real red. No idea what to do, so I called my friends. They tried to calm me down, but it was to no avail. I wanted to kill everybody, fuck going to jail. I was supposed to protect her, but I fucking failed. From that day forward, it's like I've been living in hell. Yeah!
Life can be a true thief sometimes, robbing me with all its violent crimes. Too harsh, I wanna see the light. In spite of that, I'll always choose to fight for you. Fight for me. Fight for all the possibilities.
My bro, mom, and I, we were all a mess. Knew I had to stay strong so their hearts could rest. I really tried, I promise I tried my best. But life at this point just seemed real meaningless. Then I thought about her and how we had a blast. She was a little shit, but man, we had some laughs. She was passionate and driven just like my mom's. We both had a temper, it was my brother who's calm. She took care of others, that's just how she was. Biggest heart I ever seen, just filled with love. I have to say, I have a few regrets, like not staying and becoming true best friends. Or even when you were here, skipping out on the time to spend. My love for you, baby girl, will never bend. So for now, trust me, this is not the end. It's more of a pause until we see each other again. Yeah!
You're listening to Persons of Interest on blackdonnellyradio.com.
And we are back with Persons of Interest. Boy that was born in Rexdale, wind blew him over to Texas, and that lucky wind blew him all the way back over to Toronto. William Crane, a.k.a. YammaKing. William, great to have you back, man.
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much, man. So let's talk about the studio where you've been doing this demo so far. Where's it at and who you're working with?
Yeah, it's in Brampton. I guess you'd say. It's at Courtney Park and Tompkin.
Cool.
It's Enya Studio, Enya Records. So my buddy Sean Tiara, had this idea that he wanted to do music. Now, he went to Metalworks and all that stuff, right? So he has experience in the field, but he always wanted to do his own thing, right? So he, with the help of his parents, kind of like got a space created this studio, created this beautiful spot for all of us to kind of go to. And there's probably about, don't quote me on it, but I want to say maybe 15 to 20 artists right now that kind of like use that place as like their place of home and place of music. So it's honestly, I can have the worst week or the worst day ever and go to that place and all the stress just kind of leaves. You know what I mean? Because they've created such a space and like such a atmosphere where you just kind of, you're stress free. You know what I mean? And all you really focus on is the music and the art and your passion.
You know what that is as well, from what it sounds like, and I feel the same way as well. It's like a sanctuary. And not only that, it's like because you're becoming an artist, you're starting to realize this is your identity, this is who you want to be. And then once you get in that environment, that's why it's feeling safe and feeling good for you. That's good vibes. I'm glad to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like the way everything he's done, like I wouldn't be in this position right now if it wasn't for him. So like on big shout outs to Ennearecords, big shout outs to Sean Ciara, and big shout outs to everybody who's helped me and everything like that.
Wicked, to the whole damn crew, right? Wicked. Now,
That's right, the whole family.
That's right. Where are you going to be going? Like, what's your message? What do you see YammaKing wanting to put out there in your material in the future? Like, what's your message going to be? Is it positive? Like, what are you seeing?
So I'm trying to get away. Like, do you remember when rap was like remember 90s rap? You know what I mean? When there was a purpose, it was more edgy. It was very much underground, very much like 808s, hip hop, like hi-hats, stuff like that. Like that's kind of the direction I want to bring. I want to bring back lyricism and actual like hardcore underground beats with like, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Stuff that makes people like bob their head. You know what I mean? Stuff that makes you think. Stuff that makes you feel. But it's all positive. I don't want, like, I'm trying to get away from all the negativity that there is in the industry because there is a lot of it. And I'm trying to bring change to that. You know what I mean? Where it's just all positive, all growth, all growing together, all being together, and just doing it all as a family. Whereas instead of bumping heads and stuff like that, we're all going to do this shit together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, I jump in and out of, like, I love all kinds of music, but I do focus and pay attention on all genres. And what I do notice, I mean, there's already a fucking abundance of, you know, like all the hate and mudslinging, hip hop and shit, and all the gangster stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think there's so much room for the hip hop culture to grow and get different messages out there now. You know what I mean?
That's right. Like instead of, I mean, I know a lot of people say it like, you know, I mean the money, the cars, the clothes, the women, the drugs, the alcohol, like all the parties. You know what I mean? That's all typical, like through the industry and stuff like that. But I'm trying to like show a different side of it where it's more like it's almost hard to explain. I'm trying, like, I
know what you mean. Something a little bit more real and legit, and not biting into the stereotypical bullshit of you know broads and champagne and big cars and fucking I'm this and that and the next thing, right?
Exactly. Like I want to get away from that. I want to just like, because I can't sit here and talk like that because I haven't experienced it. You know what I mean? So I want to tell the truth.
And half of them be fucking lying, right?
That's right. Like you got to tell your truth. The worst thing to do is put music out there that's not you, where you're lying to the people. Like I want to tell the truth. I want to tell my truth. I hopefully want people to feel it the way I do.
Good for you, man. And you know what? You stick to it. I always find true colors always shine. And people are starting to get smart now too. They're starting to read through bullshit, even in, you know, rock and roll, or even just that. I guess, you know, the internet, everything's opens up so much stuff now. People are a little bit more skeptic to eat the usual same old. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I completely agree.
Now, like I always like to ask the listener, where would they go to get your music or follow your contact? You got something going on YouTube right now or anything like that?
My music is on literally any platform you could think of. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Deezer, Napster. It's all under YammaKing. And all you have to do is search up YammaKing and everything will pop up.
Cool. And anyone that's listening to this interview right now, after it up on our website, we're going to have this full interview with Package, and I'm going to be adding all the links to YammaKing's material if you want to get hold of them. Now, coming to our final track this evening, 505 Freestyle. Let me in. What's this one all about?
Well, this has a funny story to it, actually. So, Moonlight, which is the girl who did the chorus on Victoria, shout out to Moonlight. She has an amazing voice. She's incredibly talented. She, the first time I ever met her, she came into the studio. She came into the studio actually just to hang out, to get to know me a little bit better, blah, blah, blah. And close to the end of my session, she looked at me and she asked, like, Sean, which was my producer, told her that I could freestyle. So she was like, I heard you could freestyle. And I literally looked at Sean and I said, put on a beat. Let me show her, like, I'm going to show her what I can do. The beat that is for this song, it was literally a sample he just picked randomly. And then you know what I mean? He put his magic to it. But it was literally just fate that came up. And it was fate that he pressed the track button because he tracked the whole thing. And the next thing we know, we have ourselves a song.
Nice. It's funny how that works out. Sometimes I find whatever crafts we're working in, sometimes we get wrapped up in too much technical shit and you're trying and then sometimes those moments happen where you ain't trying nothing and something just comes naturally, boom, and it clicks, right?
And I always, like, she always tells me to always record everything I do when it comes to music, because you never know when you're going to have that magical verse or that amazing line or the amazing hook, and you missed it because you didn't record it.
For sure, man. Even like for talking sake, the Rolling Stones, they done that same thing. They ended up making a whole fucking album off of cast-off. It was called the Tattoo You album. They called it the Frankenstein album because it was just little bits of songs laying all over the floor, right?
See, that's amazing, and I didn't even know that. See, that was a bit of information that you just taught me.
Yeah, they ended up selling millions off it, so I keep the recorder going. But listen, brother, okay, Mr. YammaKing, I want to say thank you so much for giving us your time this evening, and we want to wish you nothing but the best of love, luck, and health in your project and in the future, and we're looking forward to having you back when you got some new material down the line. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing, brother. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the exposure. Shout outs to Enya Studio, shout outs to you, shout outs to everybody who's helped. I appreciate it, I really do.
Right on, man. For our person of interest and wrapping it up, YammaKing 505 freestyling Black Donnelly Radio.
Who are the killers? Who are the troublemakers?
I'm just fucking around, man. Let's get it. Yamma. Yeah. Listen, so I got the mic, I do these things. Understand what that means, I'm maneuvering. There ain't no person who can come and just do my thing. I'm off the top, I'm inside, maneuvering. That's right, I ain't quitting, I be steady with it. They know I'm out the top, that's right, the shit is not written. I be coming through, feeling my blood just so stricken. I ain't stopping, I'm steady popping, I keep it locked in, yeah. I be taking these spots, thinking they coming, that's right. Cause I be bubbling hot, thinking they ready. I'm coming through and I'm taking your spot. You think you ready, I'm deadly, I just be coming, I'm not gonna be that person that's lurking out here. Understand why, I just really doubt fear. Ain't nobody coming right through, it's so clear that I'd be the best out, yes, it's so clear. Let me repeat it just for them people. They know it's me, yeah, for the top, I'm lethal. Yeah, that's right, coming right through these peoples. Thinking that I'm seeing right through, I'm legal, like, yeah. Steady texting all these rappers, not quitting what I do. Yes, I'm flipping backwards off the top. They label these little rappers, think they good. Understand what I do with rap shit like they label. Understand it's me, cut cables. Never gon' stop, cause I'm acting so fabled. Like I'm coming through, understand I mean famous. I ain't gon' stop, I'm criminally dangerous. Yeah, cause I'm steady with the bars. They fucking with the kid cause they know I'm at large. Never gon' stop, I'm really just gon' charge. All these other rappers who thinking they at large, not really so silly when I get the mic. They know it's me coming through when I perk with Vikes. Never gon' stop now cause I got the vice. Every time that I bring it, I'ma have to write like 1, 2, 3 into the 4. I'm slipping and I'm sliding everywhere that I go, knowing that it's me at the top for show. I'm never gon' stop, yeah, I might just pop you go. Look, no ego, but I might keep going. Know it's me, yeah, for the top and I keep flowing. Never gon' stop them skills that I be showing. Looking like it's me in the water, just steady rowing like, yeah. Go ahead and catch your paddle. Looking like I'm coming through with that little rattle. Never gon' stop now, cause I run and I tattle. Not really, no stitches, get stitches if you talking. Looking like I'm coming right through, steady rocking. Never gon' stop, taking off like a rocket. Yeah, they know it's me, no ball, but I dropped it. Yeah, that's right, coming right through, cause I'm hot in somewhere out in the tropics. Go ahead and watch as I might just drop it. Understand the way that I'm coming through. There ain't no person at the top who gon' tell that truth, like yeah. Cause I'm too damn nice, they already know that it's me and I be getting the mic. That's right, what I might do, yeah, I have to strike. And I ain't gon' stop, everybody knows, alright, look. I ain't never gon' be vibing, know it's me coming through with the perfect timing. Y'all already know that I might be rhyming, sitting back like fuck it, y'all already know I'm on it. Woo!
You're listening to Persons of Interest on BlackDonnellyRadio.com.
And that was the wonderful sounds of aspiring hip-hop artist William Crane, a.k.a. YammaKing. Looking forward to hanging out with you next time when I feature our newest person of interest, only
on blackdonallyradio.com.